What's going on, people? Today I will be reviewing the Arrow video release of Robocop. This is one that I am absolutely just excited for. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, I'm going to tell you why right now. So Robocop to me is just a movie that at all points in my life I have just been able to absolutely love. I loved this movie when I was a kid just on an action level. It has great actions, especially for the 80s, and really, that is on the level that I enjoyed Robocop. He blew a lot of stuff up, he shot people real good. It was just, you know, what I was kind of into. Fast forward to today, and I can see all the satire that Paul Verhoeven, the director here, was trying to do with how much he emphasized the violence, almost to push it to a parody level, just to, you know, satirize just how violent our culture is. And then on top of that, they satirized the 80s lifestyle. This is when Wall Street was popular, greed is good, and here they are satirizing that exact same concept with Omnicorp and all of it. You know, this movie is just the perfect blend of action and satire that you can really think on a deeper level to. And it makes this movie just a whole lot more involving and engaging rather than just a shoot-'em-up action movie, which you would expect coming into a movie called Robocop. And that is why I'm going to give Robocop a 10 out of 10. It is a classic. I wish I could talk more about it, but I do not have the time in this video. And getting straight into the video quality here. So this was actually given a 4K scan, even though it is just a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K Blu-ray, but it was given a 4K scan, and that was of the original negative. And then you have additional scenes that were added to the unrated version that were given a 2K scan. And I will explain that to you guys right now. So pretty much there are 3 different versions of Robocop that come with this collection. There is the theatrical version and the television version. And then there is the unrated cut that just has a couple more seconds of gore that wasn't allowed in this film originally. So for the most part, all 3 cuts look the same, and they are pretty damn good. They have quite a bit of detail to them that is a little more than the previous Blu-ray that was released. That was actually given a 4K scan also, but this was actually done from the original negative, and you can definitely tell the difference. I did notice that also this is a lot more of a brighter transfer. You can see a lot more of the lighting in some scenes, and you can definitely tell a lot more of the lighting on especially Robocop himself. The sheen of the light that reflects off of that suit is more prominent here, and that is a welcome change, and that might feel like small upgrades from the previous Blu-ray, but it is definitely welcome. And on top of that, the black levels here are really damn good. I would say that they never crush, and they always dip perfectly to black. And also, on top of that, I did notice that there is less grain here. Now, this movie is supposed to be a midnight movie in a midnight movie feel, and I would say that if you remove all of the grain from it, then you would be missing something about what makes Robocop Robocop. And so with that being said, there is some grain still left in here, but the clarity is definitely bumped up from the previous release. And the matter of fact, that is where you'll see the most difference in my perspective. Now, one thing that I do have to say is that if you choose to watch the unrated version, the additional shots that are there were not from the same negative. So what that pretty much means is that they will look different, and they will definitely come across to you as inserted images, and you can definitely tell the difference. They have heavier grain and they just don't look as polished, but it is just cool to see them. Think of it as some of the added scenes in Richard Donner's version of Superman 2. And with that being said, I am going to give this a 8 out of 10. It isn't the most polished tool on the shed, but it is definitely the best that Robocop has ever looked. And getting into the audio quality here, we are given a DTS HD 5.1 mix, or you could choose to watch the 4.0 mix or the 2.0 mix. I always choose the 5.1 just because that's my thing. But today I'm only going to talk about the 5.1, and that is really damn good. I will say that the vocals are really crisp and really clear. Bass response is definitely awesome, especially during the score. I do love the score of this movie, and I just that really hits a sweet spot for me, and the bass response definitely helps with that. Along with that, every explosion, every gunshot has its own distinct bass tone, and that is awesome. And surrounds are actually heavily used, and that is something that I look for with older films, because I want to see that those back speakers being used a lot more in some older films, and this one definitely uses it. Speaker separation is just okay. It's not great. It's just okay. It could have been more, but this is an older film, so what you're going to get is a little less dynamic of a mix. But with that being said, it is still, very pleasing. I'm going to give it another 8 out of 10. Now, there is no digital copy here, but trust me, the special features are going to make up for it. This is actually the most special features that we are going to find for Robocop. They have all new audio commentaries, some with Paul Verhoeven that they have archived. That is great. They have tons and tons of featurettes that go a lot into just the stop motion effects that were in the film, and a lot of the effects work, what went into creating Robocop's suit, and just almost every single bit of detail is covered here. As far as special features goes, it is great, and they are lengthy as well. On top of that, you also get this kick-ass box art with, I am saying, this is awesome. You get a reversible slipcover for the actual case of the Blu-ray. And then on top of that, you also get a booklet that comes with production stills and all of that stuff. And it tells you more about the production of the film. On top of that, you actually get some stills that come along with it. That is great. You also get a poster. This is definitely just worth picking up. This case alone, everything about it is just screams 10 out of 10, and I got to give it to it. Getting into my last looks at Robocop, it's just a kick-ass awesome movie that can really hold up and just makes you think afterwards, and that is something that not all movies do. I love I can't really think of anything really negative to say about Robocop. That is why it's one of my favorite movies. It's just fun. I have so much fun watching this movie. It never runs out of steam. It's not too long. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes. But there's so much crammed into it. You want to learn so much more about the universe. I love Robocop. And when you add up all my scores for Robocop, you get a 36 out of 40. This is the definitive version of this movie that is out there. You will not get a better put together box set for this one movie. And so many special features. And the video and the audio aren't going to blow you away. But it is still the best it has ever looked and sounded. And that is great. So coming up next on the channel, if you look at my coming up next shelf, right there, you are going to see Angel Has Fallen. I am going to be talking about that next for you guys. So if you're excited about that, and if you've actually checked out this release, let me know what you think about it, because this is one that not a lot of people are covering, but I love this box set. So I thank all of you for coming. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.